Hey guys, this is a how-to video on how to ride a 1000cc plus just a beginner bike to like a 600, 250, 300, stuff like that. But this is more towards like also letting people know how to ride a 1000 if you're going from a 600 or a 300 and you want to jump over to a 1000. I had a Gixxer 600, and there is a difference between the 600 and the 1000. I mean, it's more about power. If you're, if you have knowledge about your power bands and all that, and that you understand that you can pop a wheelie on power wheelies, or if you pop the clutch up too hard and you bring that throttle back, you run the risk of flipping your bike. Depending on the tires, I had Continentals before, and this 1000 was too powerful for those Continentals. I did too much burnouts. I was losing traction. Right now I got the Pirelli Diablo Rosa 3s. I got them painted. I did some custom work. So this is just a review on how to ride motorcycles. So for beginners, also for people who want to ride 1000s. So this is our kill switch right here. It kills the motor. So like if anything is wrong, malfunction, you hit the kill switch, which is right there. It lets you know. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Then to take that off, just hit that, and it lets you know right there to take that off. Now each bike is different. My startup button is down here. Currently the bike is off. So this is your clutch. Everything on the left side of your bike is clutch. So this is your clutch handle, and this is your clutch lever. So you'll be using this to bring in, and then you'll be able to kick up or kick down, and then you'll be releasing slowly. But once I get on the bike, you'll see a little better image on how that works. Then everything on the left side is brakes. So you got your front brakes up front, which that's your basically 90% or 95% of your brakes up front, which you have two brakes calipers in the front and two rotors for each side. The back one is mostly, I use it for like the red light, stop signs, to keep me still, and I could put it in neutral, let my hand relax, and then I just use the back brakes. So this is your back brakes right here, and as you can see, it activates it. And by just pressing the front brakes, just holding that in, it, stops your front side. Now don't push too much, because you might end up flipping the bike over if you try to go too aggressive, and then too less, you can hit somebody else. So at least that's somewhat of a basics of your stuff. You got your turn signals right here. Now again, it depends on each bike. You got your horn down here, you got your four-way lights up here, you got your high beams, and I think in the back there's passing lights, so it flashes your lights. You got your mode selectors, which I'll show you that in a bit. I mean, the best thing I always tell people, if you're going to get a 1000, make sure that the bike is in maintenance condition, meaning good chain, sprockets, tires, brake pads. Again, it's a 1000, so it has a lot of power. Yeah, it's not a Hayabusa or a Kawasaki 14 or a Kawasaki H2, but still, it still has a lot of power for being a 1000. So you always want to make sure that all your maintenance stuff is up to date before you do take it out for a ride. So no further ado, let's get on the bike and let's turn her on. So you got your regular keys, and you got your off. You can lock it by turning the steering wheel all the way to the left, and you get to lock it. You also got your parking lights. You can use that. That's all the way over here, but we're going to put in the on position, which is over there. Now if you do have the bike on the kill switch, the bike is not going to turn on because the kill switch is on. Now if you turn that on, you will hear stuff inside here, which is your fuel pump activating, and your throttle plates will also open up and close too. Now every bike is different, but this one does it. So we're right now in neutral, but to give an example, I put it in first gear. My kickstand, let me put it down so I can give another example. So kickstand down, your bike will not turn on at all, because there's a sensor letting it know that the bike should not be on while the kickstand is down, at least not in first gear. Now if you put it in neutral, now again it activates the bike and lets it know to turn on. It could turn on in neutral while the kickstand is down. Now if you try to put it in gear, which is going to be it's going to suck, because it's going to stall the bike, it turns it off, because it's a safety hazard for having your kickstand down while you're trying to ride at all. Now the kickstand is up and I'm in first gear, it lets me know that I can start riding. Now that mode selectors, you have A, which is your race mode. You got C for like wet mode, or you just want to take it easy and cruise and not waste your gas, because 1000s do waste a lot of gas. And then you got your B, which is just your normal mode. But yeah, a lot of people use C for wet. If it's wet outside and the weather condition is not good, they can use C. And again, if you just want to cruise, you can do B for your normal, and then A is for your race mode. But for now, we're not going to worry about none of that, but just to explain what the modes do. So to turn on the bike, you have to bring in the clutch all the way in, turn it on. Now my kickstand is up. Now again, this is for beginners, so if you're trying to learn, you never want to dump the clutch, meaning you don't want to do that. You do that, you're stalling the bike. So again, we're going to take it easy. You're going to let go of the clutch little by little, and you see, if you can see, it's pulling the bike forward. And I'm going to let go a little bit more, and I'm not even giving it gas. I'm just letting it take me. So little by little, it's taking me away. And it's going faster and faster, and I'm not even giving it gas. Now I can let go of the clutch, and I'm riding without giving it gas at all. Now, and I'm in an empty parking lot, so I can do this and, you know, not worry about traffic. Now again, if you feel like you're going to panic, you want to bring in that clutch completely. If you don't want to give it brakes or anything because you're scared, that clutch, bringing it in, it cuts the gas to go into the motor. So basically we came to a complete stop. Now let's try that again. Going to give it a little bit of letting go of the clutch, no gas at all. I'm just going to let it take it away little by little. Now my speed is going up, and I let go of the clutch, and again I didn't have to give it no gas at all. Now if you want to come to a stop by using your brakes, again you're going to bring in your clutch, always bring in your clutch, and then give it front brakes. Now we're back to zero. So you got the idea for that one. Now I'm gonna fix myself real quick, and now we're gonna try a different method. Okay, so now we're gonna try, because if we're in a hill, you just letting the clutch out, it'll move forward but not as quick as you want it to, and then you got traffic behind you. Sometimes also the hill is too much for just letting the clutch out and moving you forward. You'll just stall the bike. So sometimes you got to give it clutch and gas at the same time. And again, you want to wait until you feel it grab. So mine is more like at the half point where I feel it grab. When I feel it grab, then I can give it a little bit of gas with it, just a tiny bit. You can't even see your hand moving backwards. Now I'm leaving just by giving a little bit of gas and letting go of the clutch in the halfway point at the same time, and I'm already out. So now let's try this again. Now we're going to try going a little bit faster. We're not even worried about, you know, cornering yet. It's more about just going straight. So we're going to go a little bit faster, and then I'll teach you after that how to corner. So again, let go of your clutch halfway, give it a little bit of gas if you're on the hill. For right now, we'll just give that as an example. Now we're going. Now you bring your legs up and you tuck it into position. You got your clutch side, which is the clutch lever, and you got your right side, which is your brake for the back and front. Now we're going a little bit faster, and I'm just giving a little bit of gas, a tiny bit. Now we're going to come to a complete stop, and again, bring in the clutch, brake, and put your feet down. So let's go back to where we was. So now we're going to try cornering. Now to do cornering is all about body weight. You can use your arms to lean, or you use your thigh, or you can use your legs to lean the bike to side to side. Now, but when you want to take a corner, you're supposed to aim your eyes and your head motion to the corner you're going to take, and that your body just follows it. It's like it's just a motion you do all on your own by just looking at where you're going to turn, and the bike and your body goes with it. So an example would be, I want to turn at that pole. I'm just going to look at the pole, lean my body left, and now I'm at the pole. And again, bring in your clutch, press the brakes, put your feet down, and we're already here. So the next step and the final step that I'll be able to teach, and before I get into the 1000, how to ride a 1000, is to shift into second gear. Now it goes first gear, neutral, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear. So to give you an example how it works, so you're kicking up to go through gears. Now when you want to drop gears, you go downwards. So right now we're in first. If I kick up, and it's a half a click, so basically I'm not going to give it a full kick up, I'm just going to give it a half a kick. Now I'm in neutral. Now when I want to go back to first, I kick down. Now I'm in first. So we're going to kick up to second once we get into speed. Okay, well right now I'm at a stop sign. Let's go. So I'm at 23. Let me get that one better than that. So I'm in second. Before I get to the stop sign, I got to kick down, bring in the clutch again, press in the brakes, feet down. So let's go back to our spot. So now a 1000, we're going to talk about that on how to ride a 1000. Now my 1000 is pretty small for being a 1000. It has a lot of power, it has a lot of aftermarket parts. It has an exhaust from headers to tip from Tailor Made. It got a K&N race filter, which soon that will be switched out, but it's the point that it got a power commander also. I got a 520 chain and sprocket, aluminum rear sprocket, steel front sprocket, stock teeth, a lithium battery. So I put some parts into it, so it got a little bit more power and lighter weight, and some like beauty details. But other than that, is those are the parts that it has the bike. But you got to be careful again with your front end coming up when you're giving it a lot of throttle. Again, if your tire in the back is not a good tire, and you know it's not a good tire, there's no point to push your bike and you cause an accident, you ruin your brand new bike, or you get yourself hurt. It's not worth it. So you always want to take it little by little on bikes. Push it increments. You live and learn by making mistakes, but there's to a point where there's a mistake you can't go back. So I will act up on the bike on the 1000 so you can see the difference on the 1000. Compare, I mean, you can watch other people's videos that they have a 300 or 250 or a 600 or a 700. There is a difference. There's a difference between throttle. This one also has a difference between other bikes. This has a hydraulic clutch. Not everyone has a hydraulic clutch. And again, newer bikes are coming with more horsepower, more torque. This is an 08 Gixxer 1000. So I don't have as much power as other people do. So this one might not pop a wheelie, like a power wheelie, compared to other ones. But the front end does come up at times. So you always got to be careful with that. Now a 600, I had a 600 and I gave it hell, and my front end never came up on my 600. Then again, it was lowered, so that's one point. But again, if you're learning on a 1000, you never want to push your 1000 to the max, because you're learning, for one. You don't want to panic and cause an accident. And again, your panic buttons are: you bring in the clutch, you press both brakes, and you come to a complete stop. If you're going to panic, or if you're going to crash, you still got to do the same thing. But if you think you're not going to crash, but you're still having a panic attack, you want to bring in that clutch, pressing the brakes, and stop at 0. Turn off the bike by using the kill switch, and take a breather. So now, right now, this is for people who have 600s or 300s that want to get on a 1000, and they want to know what's the difference between a 600, 300. So I don't know if you'll be able to see my throttle hand. I don't have to give it too much throttle for it to pick up and go. If I can find a nice straightaway so I can take off on the bike. Cornering wise, on a 1000, it's a little bit heavier than a 600 or 300. It's not as nimble, but this 1000 I feel like is no heavier than my 600. It feels like the same body weight. It's like a little tiny bit heavier, but I don't feel like it's outweighing my 600 a lot. I mean, I gave it a little test right there. I went 79 or 75 on first gear without changing gears. And I don't gotta pull back the throttle like other bikes. You have to pull back pretty far to get the bike to go and accelerate. Now the difference between a 600 and a 1000 is not just your power band, it's your wallet. Your insurance is going to be outrageously expensive. Not only that, your monthly payments for the bike, if you're doing a loan, but also your insurance is going to be outrageous. So yeah, if I was younger, I wouldn't be able to afford a 1000. So I'm glad I am able to get a 1000. I don't regret it. I had a 600 and I think I could have went from the 600. Instead of having the 600, I could have had the 1000 and been fine. Now here in Pennsylvania we have riding courses. So the riding courses are free. I haven't had a nice straightaway with no cars, so that I can give it hell. But just believe me, the 1000s are the power that you will need to do some good racing. In second gear, I'll be over 100. So yeah, I'm gonna be ending this blog and how-to video right here, because I'm not gonna have a good straightaway with no cars. So guys, be safe. Happy Mother's Day to all the females out there, and take care.